Who jumps out of perfectly good airplanes in the name of science? Mr. C.
Well, happy aloha to you, 8th grade. And if you'll do this, you've got a white sheet, so if you'll number a 12 on that white sheet. Okay. If you'll take out lesson summary, for you guys, what is it, 8 through 12 maybe? 8 through 12. So if you'll take that out, you'll also take out, please, did I get it right, 8 through 12? Yeah, it looks like. And then if you'll take out the periodic table, and I have some good news for you, multiple good news. Very first thing I want to tell you is that I'm backing the test up to Thursday. I know that's 2 days I've backed it up, but I need the time. I want you to do well in the test, and I want to make sure I cover the conclusion of chemistry before we get going on physics. So you might locate your physics book. It's the one showing the soccer kicker kicking the ball, a force. So forces come out of a study of physics. So anyway, if you'll locate your physics book, put it in your locker, and we might use it next Friday. We might. So anyway, your test is next Thursday. I've got my rugby hat on, my Aussie rugby hat, because my grandson has got a rugby match this weekend, I think. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to talking to him. So again, you've got out LS 8 through 12. You've got out your periodic table. Periodic table of the elements, and then I have further good news. So if you'll find, so here's a way you can pick up 10 points. I might allow you to do it twice, but right now just once. So you're going to find this, and it's P table, so you're going to find P, T-A-B-L-E, just like the symbol over on the left. Let me get in really close. You see it there? Up at the top left. P table. And this is called an interactive periodic table. And let me show you what you can do. It's really quite cool. You can click on any of the elements. What are you going to click on, Mr. C? Something. I'm going to click on iron, and look at that. Iron shows up over in the corner. Fe iron. See that? So you can click on any of the elements, and it shows up with a bunch of data on it down the left side. And then right at the top, it says a write-up on it. So I'm going to click on iron. So I've clicked on it, and then I'm going to click on the Wikipedia part of it. And then here's what you get. This is so cool. Look at that. You get a little report on iron, and it says it's a chemical element with the Latin symbol Fe from the word Latin ferrum, has an atomic number of 26, so 26 protons. It's a metal that belongs to group 8 of the periodic table. It's a common element on Earth. Much of Earth's outer core and inner core is made of it. It's the fourth most common element in the Earth's crust. And then it gives you a little kind of report on it. It says the body of an adult human contains about 4 grams of iron, mostly in hemoglobin. Some of you knew that. In the chemical that makes your red blood cells red, hemoglobin, and it grabs oxygen and when it grabs oxygen, it gets redder. The hemoglobin all by itself proves there's a God. A chemical on your red blood cell that's designed to grab oxygen. Wow. So just the whole pick up oxygen in the lungs, dump it off in the cells. How do all your cells get oxygen on a regular basis? How do the red blood cells know where to go and how to release it? Well, God made them to do all that. Just red blood cells and hemoglobin all by itself. There's a God. You have to say there's a God. There's no way that happened accidentally. So you and I could come up with billions of divine designs that proves there's a God. If someone said, well, I don't believe there's a God, there's no evidence. I'm sorry, but they don't want to believe in a God. It's not because there's not ample data. It's just they don't want to believe in God, so they're in denial. It's not about the data. So even, I don't care how smart they are, whether they've got 85 PhDs from Harvard, Cambridge, Oxford, who cares? They're in denial. The smartest people on the earth should admit there's a God because the evidence should be more obvious to them. They've got to be in denial. The reason I'm saying that is they could see it easier. They're smart. They're observant. Smart people are observant. So look around, it's everywhere, and that's what Romans 1 says. The evidence for God is everywhere. Calm down, Mr. C. Take a deep breath. You know how passionate I am about all of this. And you know how much I love God and His creation. So, it's I get emotional about it. So, but what I'm telling you is the truth. Don't you ever let Satan trick you into thinking, well, there's no evidence for a God. It's the biggest, fattest lie that will ever run through your brain. So anyway, Mr. C, are you going to come back and show us the interactive periodic table? I am. Are you going to tell us how we can get 10 points? I am. So here's what you've got to do. You have got, if you're going to earn 10 points, you've got to spend a minimum of 15 minutes doing this. And you're going to have to initial down below. Mr. C, I spent 15 minutes with the interactive P table. It's the P-T-A-B-L-E. And it's the interactive periodic table. It just comes up ptable.com. So what do we do again? Bring up on your computer P-table, the interactive periodic table, and then you've got to click on at least 10 different elements and look at their atomic number, how many protons in the nucleus. Then I want you to click on one of them at the very top where it says write up in Wikipedia, and you've got to write 10 nice, neat bullet facts. And then initial it down below and write a little sentence. I spent 15 minutes with the P table. Your initials down below. And then turn in your bullet facts on whatever element you chose to do it on. Whichever one you chose. So turn it in. Okay? So that'll get you 10 points. I might, if you do a good job. Now, I'm not going to give you any points if you turn it in and it's half done, half baked. I'll give it back to Mr. Phillip the following Saturday, so it's really going to slow down your chance to get the 10 points. Because what will happen is, I'll come in on Saturday, I'll look them over. Nope. Well, I might not even look them over then. I'll take them home. So it'll take a few days to look them over and put them in the computer. And I'll see that you didn't really do a good job on it. So I'm not going to give you any points. So you'll look under P table on the computer and no points. So what do you assume? I'm going to tote it back to school the following Saturday. Leave it with Mr. Phillip. He'll hand it back to you. You'll have to complete it again and then turn it in again. So it's going to take a couple of weeks for you to get those points. So do a nice job the first time. Don't give me skinny bullet facts. Neat, complete bullet facts. Nice, neat, informational bullet facts about the element you chose. Okay? So if students do a real good job and it seems to be, a success, I might allow a second one, in the following week or two. And that would be worth 20 points. Huh. That would kind of help the old average. It would indeed. Next week's test, by the way, probably going to be, 40 to 50 points. I'd say 50 at least. So, now, so far, we've done all the gases, right? So, on your white sheet, so I'm going to set this down for a little bit. On your white sheet, I'm going to ask you the symbols of these elements. You cannot, of course, be looking at you can't be looking at your periodic table. Okay? No can do. Okay. Mr. C, what did you do with your pen? I'm looking. It ran off. Okay. So here's the plan, Stan. Okay, I'm going to give you the element name. You give me the symbol 1 through 10. Here we go. Number 1, hydrogen. Just number 1, write down the symbol. You can't be looking around. You can't be looking at your periodic table. It's put away. Number 2, helium. Number 3, carbon. Number 4, nitrogen. Number 5, oxygen. We've gone over these. Number 6, neon. Number 7, iron. Number 8, copper. And I believe that's all we've done. And we'll go number 10, chlorine gas. Okay, I believe that's 10. Here they are again. Number 1, hydrogen, double check. 2, helium. 3, carbon. 4, nitrogen. 5, oxygen. 6 was iron, I think. 7 is copper. Now, if I've mixed the order up, I don't care. It's all right. And then 8, aluminum. 9, silicon. 10, chlorine. All right? So I don't care about the order as long as you have the correct symbol. H for hydrogen, He, helium, C for carbon, N for nitrogen, O or O2 for oxygen, and then Fe for iron, Cu copper, Al aluminum, Si silicon, Cl chlorine. And then there was an 11th one, neon. I think you've got it. So write it down so you can have 11. Neon, ZZ, neon, N-E. A lot of these are really easy. So there's 11 so far. Neon gas produces light when you heat it up. So anyway, those 11 we've done. So I'll ask you to write those symbols next Thursday. We've got an additional 9 that I'm going to have you work on. We'll end up with 20. Today I'm going to focus on some metals. So here are some metals that I want to focus on. We've already done iron, Fe. Here's some iron. This is an iron nail. Steel, right? In the Fe box, write steel. Steel is just purified iron, purified Fe. So in the Fe box, atomic number 26, write steel. Write it small, steel. We've already done Cu for copper. You already know about iron. It's incredibly dense. Atoms are packed really tight. So, show you some copper. Typical color of copper. Copper can be hammered into sheets or stretched into wires. The stretching into wires part is called ductile or ductility. You know that most metals, I'll ask you on the test next week, give me a characteristic of metals. What are they good at? A couple of their properties. I'll ask you the word property. So some of you are such good students, as soon as I say I'm going to ask you that, you make notes some way, somehow. In your journal or on your periodic table sheet, you make note. Good students do that. Yep. You're going to be in high school next year, 8th grade. So, a lot more required of you, so dial in those study skills. So, what do all metals do? Metals are good at carrying or conducting heat. They're really good at conducting electricity. They're pretty dense solids. So not super reactive. They corrode. Copper will corrode, iron will corrode. They'll combine with other elements. Now when I ask you next week, hey, what's a sociable element that combines with a lot of things and combines with a lot of the metals? What's the sociable element? O2. That's the second time now I've told you. Oxygen is a sociable, I call it, element. Sociable element. Someone who is sociable likes to meet up, get together with other people and chat with them. Well, oxygen likes to get together with other elements. So there's copper. And then continuing on the metals. We're doing metals right now. So in that same period, look at atomic number 22. 22 Ti titanium. Ti titanium. Titanium is an incredibly strong element. It's a metal, right? It's stronger than steel. As strong as or even stronger in its purified form. So it doesn't corrode. That's beautiful. So it doesn't corrode. It combines well with human bone and tissue. What? Yeah, it combines well with human bone and tissue. Cells. Cells will grow around it. And it doesn't damage either bone tissue or cell tissue. And that's why this is some titanium. You are looking at an artificial hip. People who have arthritis, where they get all kinds of inflammation in a joint and the joint deteriorates and causes tremendous pain, they can get a brand new hip socket made out of titanium. And it will fit right into the hip socket, and bone will grow around it, and it'll fit right into the femur, the long bone. So anyway, pretty cool, huh? So titanium, real strong, doesn't corrode, doesn't change, it doesn't react with other elements. So yeah, it's very, very cool. Titanium. Ti, titanium. And then, so far the metals we have Al for aluminum, we've got Ti titanium, Fe iron, Cu copper, and then I have two more metals, number 47 and 79 on top of each other. First, I have this one. This is a precious metal. I hope I have this. I threw it in my pocket. Did it stay? I hope so. I threw, Mr. C, you're having a rough day. So I threw a quarter. It was a 1965 quarter. So I'm going to show you a 1964 quarter. Here's a picture of one. Several pictures of them. See if I can get this up. This quarter is made of almost pure silver. 1964 and down quarters were made of almost pure silver. Now silver right now is not cheap. It's worth, I don't know exactly what it's worth, but it's a precious metal, so it's worth a lot, not as much as gold. But its symbol is AG. And if you had that one supposedly it says is worth $10,000. So, Mr. C, do you have that one? No. Wouldn't mind, wish I did. So silver AG. And then, got this one, you'll recognize this one right away. This is AU. What atomic number is it? It's atomic number 79. Silver was 47. So do we have to know these symbols? Yeah. AG for silver, AU for gold. Now can I give you a little teaching kind of strategy? You just have to memorize these, but there's a way to remember. But you have to kind of do some reverse memory. Get this. Gold starts with G, right? Diameter chambers, of course it does. Okay, well look at the symbol for silver, number 47, atomic number 47. It's AG. So you have to do a little reversal in your brain and go, let's see now. Gold starts with G, but that's not its symbol, that's silver. That's AG. Now this is AU for gold. Now gold, I don't know what it's worth, $2,000 an ounce or something really valuable. If you own that gold nugget, you could pay your college. Probably. Especially if you stayed at home. So, anyway. A gold nugget, precious metal. So AG gold, AU silver. And here is my gold wedding band. So anyway, some of you might have gold necklaces or anyway, some kind of precious jewelry made of gold. All right, two more that I want to show you, and then we'll stop today. And I've got a little video for you. And this will wind up the metals I want you to know. Number 50. Find number 50. Number 50. SN. And might help you remember it. It's tin. Tin. And I have a tin can. This can right here is made of the metal tin. It's a silvery metal, and it's soft enough to be cut without much force, and you can melt it and mold it into different shapes. Doesn't corrode much, so it doesn't combine with oxygen, for instance, and dull up. This is a soup can. Tin, SN. The second to last metal we're going to do. And then what was that, number 50 atomic number? So 50 protons in the nuclei. And then the last one is right below it, Pb, lead. We might have done it, I don't remember. But I know we're done with the metals now, and then I'll go over the metals one more time I want you to be responsible for. And then we're down to about 4 more to learn. We'll do those on Monday. Okay, so here is lead. Lead is kind of a, I think I shared this with you. Here's a piece of lead. Look at this. It's so soft you can bend it. It's a soft metal, so it's not very hard at all. And we don't use it for a lot of things because the bad news is, and you'll want to write this in the box if you didn't already, it's poisonous. Lead is poisonous. It can, I shared this with you already, I'm pretty sure. It can cause brain damage. The Romans found this out the hard way. They built water pipes out of this, and the water would flake off. Little particles of the lead, they'd drink the water, there'd be lead in the water, and it then could cause, over time, brain damage and the brain not to work as well. We used to put it, like 100 years ago, into paints. It helped paints to be what they were then. Not anymore. It's because it's poisonous. We learned not good for human brains. Lead, Pb, lead metal. You just have to learn it. So here are the metals that you're responsible for. Got your PTE out? Okay. Here are the metals that I want you to know. Ti, titanium, number 22. Iron, number 26, Fe. Copper, 29, Cu. Aluminum, number 13, Al. And then silver, remember silver, Ag, 47. Gold, 79. And then tin, 50, Sn, and lead, Pb, number 82. So 8 metals you have to know the symbols for and kind of generally what they're like. And then perfect timing. And then on Monday we'll go over 4 more elements, and we'll do some heavy-duty review for Thursday's test. So anyway, Mr. Philip is going to show you a video on the complexity of human hair. Mr. C, you wouldn't know much about that, would you? Not having that much hair on your head. I never think about it. God gave me this DNA. I'm happy with the DNA he gave me. I honestly never think about it. Well, when you look in the mirror, do you think, who's that bald guy? Never do. Now, if I was 20, I probably would be very vain about being bald. But when I started to really trust God in my mid-20s and realized that the Lord designed me with my superpower, including my DNA, I was happy with the design he gave me. Thank you, Lord, that you designed me that way and you want to use me the way I am. Thanks. You're a good God. I appreciate it. Thank you that I don't even need to worry about that anymore. So anyway, the complexities of human hair, and in your journal you'll want to write down 3 or 4 things about what makes it so complex. So journals, 3 or 4 bullet facts on why human hair is so complex. Mr. Philip, see you all on Monday.